Jesus says there's one who hears the word of the kingdom and immediately receives it with joy. Yet such a person has no root but endures only for a while. And when trouble or persecution arises on account of the word, that person immediately falls away. When we hear good news from a loving and powerful God, it fills us with joy, and we begin envisioning what a fruitful future might look like for us. Sometimes we think our vision is so clear that we know exactly how God's plans will play out from A to Z. But when our expectations are not met in the way we envisioned, it's easy to become offended that we had hoped at all. The proverb says it this way: hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. When it comes to sowing and reaping, the one who receives the word will be disappointed with outcomes until he aligns his expectations with God's ways and God's timing. It's not easy, but before the hearer embraces God's ways for him, he must first endure having his hopes deferred, prolonged, postponed, or removed. Letting go of our expectations is not the same as letting go of our expectation in God. What it means is releasing the idea that God's desire for me has to unfold exactly how I envision. I think Jesus points out how our inflexible expectations of God are like rocky ground. Rocks take up space for oxygen and nutrients in soil, which makes it hard for roots to grow and expand. Inflexible expectations have the same effect on the word in our hearts. The word would like to grow in us, but if we are not open to letting it expand how God pleases, we restrict its growth and our own. Rocky thinking goes something like this: I believed what God had for me was in a certain place, but it wasn't. Now I don't think it's anywhere. Or, God said I'd be supported, but those I expected to help me didn't. Now I know no one is going to help me. With rocky thinking, there's no room, no flexibility, no openness to God fulfilling God's word in a way different than we imagined. And as a result, many have become offended and quit on God, even while God was still at work on them and their future. One evening, while Randall was waiting in line to buy chips, the word seemed to come out of nowhere. He would soon be working in a position he loved. The timing was perfect. Just a month ago, he took a leap of faith and applied for a few promotions in his company. And now this word, Randall believed this message was from God, and it filled his heart with joy. Well, a few weeks later, the first position went to John. It was understandable. He'd been with the company forever, and besides, it was the job Randall was least interested in. Not long after, the second position was filled by a transfer from another company. It was an unexpected move, but now he knew what his new position would be. That's until one morning when he saw a beautiful, unfamiliar woman sitting in his new office and behind his new desk, talking with Larry, the floor supervisor. Hey, Randall, come here for a second. I want you to meet Lauren, our new director of advertising. The words were like a sledgehammer shattering his envisioned future. In a matter of seconds, worry, sadness, and anger ricocheted around his mind, making him an emotional wreck. He was deflated, felt betrayed, and he took offense. He muttered under his breath, "This wasn't a word from God. How foolish was I to believe such nonsense? I mean, I did my part. I trusted, worked hard, showed up early, left late, and what's my reward? Being overlooked for positions I can do blindfolded? Forget it." Having his hope deferred made Randall's heart sick, and the pain rushed out into a resignation letter. 30 minutes before the end of the day, Randall stepped into his supervisor's office. "Larry, I put in a lot of good time and work for this company. I knew I shouldn't have, but I threw my hat in the ring for a promotion. And sure enough, y'all threw it back." Larry tried to interject, but Randall was offended. and his sick heart wouldn't allow it. No, shut up. I'm going to finish. I'm leaving the company to find a place that appreciates me. He tossed the letter on the desk and left. Once it quieted down, Lauren, the new director of advertising, stopped unboxing to come over. Everything okay? Larry breathed a long sigh. Not really. The hand-picked guy we had in mind for the newly created chief marketing position, who you met earlier, just let me know he isn't interested. And to think, we thought he was perfect for the job. Peace.